tracker on your work van. It's annoying, isn't it? It's not just the obnoxious sound of the cheap piezo that squeals out at you as a reminder to click your cranked little key fob with magnetic button to the dash button. But it's also there not to assure the quality of your work, but to ensure you're in the location you're supposed to be for the requisite period of time. Or your vehicle is. Perhaps it's just there to make sure the vehicle doesn't get stolen. However, the company uses the program on their computer at the other end that has you and all the other vehicles logged, data, maps. I'm sure the employer's very understanding of deviations from your route, matching it all up from fuel consumption. It's all connected into that confusion, that wad of wires that goes to your ignition. You turn the key and a small charge of electric asked for by the key to action a bigger charge, supplied separately to the starter motor. I sort of thought, can't be smaller than a USB charging point, surely. First task is to find it. All vans are slightly different. It's a reasonable size, you'll see, to contain the working data model. It's not going to be far from the ignition. This one's a Volkswagen Transporter. The receiver button dangles out of the dash. A couple of wires. They look like they're going to get broken off and then you'll never be able to silence the wind. Those wires have to reach the key fob that's in the ignition. A separate key fob, just always going to get lost, isn't it? Or stowed where a thief could find it anyway. So really, you're avoiding that damage and doing a service to your company. Once you've located the piezo sounder, the first thing you'll try is to bash it in or surround it with acoustic materials. Tape it up tight. You've already realised that taping the fob to the receiver just doesn't work. It has to be an on-off thing with the key. Doesn't really stop it, all those acoustic materials. You can still hear it whining away. It stops it for a little bit, and then it all relaxes, it stretches, and it gets louder. It does sort of seem to go off after a little while, which didn't happen if you just leave it screaming and go off. You're out of your site, QR code or thumbprint in that manager's office. But if you've got any sense, you'll want to cover up your fiddling and messing about with company property. Well, we're vandalising today, aren't we, really? The cable ties push a Stanley knife blade between the lever and the ratchet. Pull and you haven't cut the cable tie, you can still put it back. Now you can just pull it all out. You want to do this to reassure yourself. You don't want to be immobilising your company van so that it won't start or drive. But if the first two cables that come off the ignition loom are a black and a red going to a couple of car type fuses, this is just an electrical supply, nothing more. Then it goes on to feed the data module, then cables come off that to the piezo and fob and receiver. It all becomes clear. It's a simple little thing. You've got a couple of options. You could shred away with the Stanley knife on its side along the length of the wires that go to the piezo and cut that, making it look like it's shredded itself, it's worn. Or you might choose to go that step further and do a similar sort of idea, cutting it just after the fuse holders. Those fuse holders, try putting in a 15 amp, 20 amp bayonet fuse. It won't work for those USBs, most mortifying out of the whole process. So losing your job for messing about with the tracker and putting it on someone else's van. I didn't really see the funny side, especially when that other van was going on holiday touring around France.